Hello everyone, welcome back to Nicole's diary. I'm back again with another video, and as you can see from the title, today we are going to be discussing about different ways to get acquainted with living in a new country. Okay, so I'm going to be giving you some 10 tips based out of my own personal experience when it comes to getting acquainted with living in a new country or living abroad in general. So before I go any further into rambling in this video, please, I would like you to check out my other videos as well, and at the same time also do remember to subscribe, like and comment. So before any further ado, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so I wrote down some of the points that I would love to discuss about during the video. So when you look at me, so when you see me looking down, just know that I'm reading some of the points because those are very many points, you know, and I cannot probably be able to remember all of them. So that's the reason why I wrote them down. Okay, so the first point that I would like to talk about is unrealistic expectations that we tend to have, especially when it comes to living abroad. So what do I mean by this? For instance, in my own personal experience, I will say that okay, so I first came to India in 2017. Okay, and I have lived here now for 2 years, and this actually happens to be my third year. Yeah, so currently, if you can say, it's 2.5 years. And even though I originally came to India when I already had a job, I already had the job offer when I was still in my country, and then by the time I came here, I already got the job. But however, I had the mentality that, okay, if you're living in a particular place or in a certain area, it will be so much easy for you to get a job in that place. And it depends. I would say that it weighs, you know, it's both a con and a pro at the same time. Why? Because yeah, you kind of get many opportunities and doors opening up to you, but at the same time also that is not a guarantee that you'll get that job, because at the same time there are very many other people out there who want to have that same job that you're looking for, but yet do not even have it. And then here comes you being a foreigner in that country, so you find that it becomes so hard for you to get it. And I remember when I was first in Ahmedabad, I tried to look for another job, a part-time job, and I thought it would actually be easy for me to get it since I was already in India, but it wasn't that easy. You know, I wrote so many applications, I went for different interviews, but I didn't get it. And that kind of gave me the harsh reality check to know that it's not always roses and peaches while living abroad. Okay, so I'll leave that to that, and then let's get to number 2. Okay, so number 2, I would say that living abroad requires making new friends. So we all know what it means by living abroad, you know, moving abroad or living abroad will definitely require you to get new friends, because you're not going to be stuck with some of the old friends that you already knew back home. Yes, you'll still keep the old friends there, but at the same time you'll need to make new ones, you'll need to know new people. And being in a very new environment comes with its own kind of challenges, because at the same time, much as it's exciting, you know, being in a new place, you get to explore the place and all, but at the same time also you'll need to know people there, you know, you'll need to have friends, because these are the people who will help you when it comes to taking you around places, helping you get to know the places, get to know probably where to pick your bus or maybe where to get stuff, where the grocery store is, and all those kind of things. And this point actually leads me to my number 3. So number 3 point, I would say the third reason is that coming abroad will definitely also make you homesick at some point in time. So why do I say this? I remember when I first traveled to India and I left my family, I kind of took it for granted because I was like, oh, okay, I'm not really going to miss home anyways. I mean, I'm going to meet new people and it's going to be so fun. I'll get to do lots of things that I love, And as I already said, #reality check. Well, of course, I got to do some of those things that I liked, but at the same time, there were always times that I will not deny I felt so homesick, There are very many times that I just felt I wanted to catch the next flight back home, And sometimes, of course, I found myself calling home a lot just to kind of feel that presence of my family and close ones next to me. So that is something that you'll have to get used to it, because it's not going to be easy in the beginning, but of course, as time goes on, you'll definitely get used to it. You'll definitely get used to the place, the area, and you'll also definitely be able to make some new friends. So these are just some of the things that will make you become stronger in the beginning, and as time goes on, that becomes your new lifestyle, if I can say. Yeah. So number 4, I would say while being in a new place, it's always good to try and discover the place. Okay, don't just be there sitting in one place. For example, I remember when I traveled to Russia, that was in 2018. I was living in Siberia, and when I was there, honestly, I did not travel or move to so many different places within Russia. And yet, Russia being a very large place, it has got lots of cities. It has got, lots of beautiful places to see. So I feel that it's when you have the opportunity to live abroad, it's really good to take up that opportunity for you to move to different places, because that way you get acquainted to the area, you get acquainted to the environment, and it helps you to even be able to do things on your own, because I used to be so scared that time. And I remember every time I wanted to go somewhere, I always had to make sure I had someone to go with me. And especially when it even came to the whole language barrier stuff, I was so scared of that, because as of course, most people in Russia obviously do not speak English. Majority of them speak Russian. So with that, it even made me more scared. I was like, okay, if at all I go to the grocery store, or if at all I go to the movies, how am I going to handle this on my own? So I always needed someone to be there with me, and yet that was not also the case, because that also had its own challenge. Sometimes I didn't always have someone beside me, so that meant if there was nobody closer to me, then I wouldn't actually go anywhere, which I feel is not that really good, because at the same time, being abroad, you also need to challenge yourself by coming out of your comfort zone and getting to do things that you normally wouldn't do. Yeah, and as time went on, I started to come out of my comfort zone. I started to do things and to go to places without even waiting for someone to actually be there. And that is what made the most of my experience while there. Yeah. So that was number 4, I guess. So yeah, I'll give you guys the 5th point. So now the 5th point, I will say that life abroad is not really perfect, Why do I say this? Because when you look at, for example, social media, we have friends, we have, probably relatives and whatever it is that have gone abroad, and they kind of paint this image to make it look like, oh my God, it's heaven on earth and all those things. Yes, it may be, it is, Of course, I will say living abroad and all, being acquainted to a new place is really good, but at the same time we need to also be realistic. Life does not only have one side. Life does not only have a pro. Life at the same time also has a con, so you need to balance the two. And I mean, like I said, living abroad is not really easy, and it is not perfect at the same time. You will need to adjust at some point in time. Maybe there are certain things that you were used to doing back home and you're probably not going to be able to do them here, or you probably will find something different here which is going to need you to adjust, and that's why there is that saying that says, when you go to Rome, you have to behave as the Romans do. So it is what it is. Okay, so let's go to number 6. I will say that getting acquainted with a new area definitely takes some time. So being here, as I can say, I've been here now for almost 2.5 years, and even though I have been here now for some time and I have definitely traveled to different cities within India, but I will surely say that I have not gotten acquainted 100%, because at the same time, yes, I have kind of adopted to the culture, but still it's not 100%, because even despite me living here for all this time, I still cannot even be able to speak the language, I cannot. And it's crazy because I don't know, I just maybe kind of took it for granted or what. And I will also even say the foods as well. I haven't really gotten used to all the Indian dishes. There are some that I love, but there are some that I've eaten and it has failed. It has refused. Me and some of those dishes are not best friends, which anyway is okay. So at the end of the day, that is what you'll have to expect when you move abroad, because that is just the #reality of life that you'll have to face. Yeah. And going to the 8th reason, I will say also being new in a place definitely will have its own side of challenges, especially when it comes to even small things, for example, like shopping. I remember when I first came here, even when I was in Russia, when I was in Ethiopia, and it was hard, especially when I went to the grocery store or to do some shopping and all these kind of things. You would not really immediately get the things that you're used to. Yes, there are very many other common things that you'll definitely get, which is all over the world. Yeah, probably things like toothpaste and these kind of things. Obviously you'll get them everywhere, but at the same time there are some things, probably there are some foods which you're used to back home in your country, and when you come abroad you'll not necessarily get them immediately. You understand? So when I was here, I was craving food from my country like crazy, and every time I would try to go to the stores or to the market to look for them, I wasn't getting them, and it made me to really crave for a long time, And I mean, it wasn't easy, as I said, because it needed me to adjust to what was available. And that was something that I was not really so willing to do in the beginning. But then as time went on, obviously I had to then put that in perspective, and I had to force myself to adjust. And as time went on, the more I got to live in the area is the more I got to know different places and where to actually get things that I wanted. Yeah. And as well, also I'll link this point to, for example, the ladies. It's not easy being abroad because especially when you're a person of color, it's not going to be easy for you, because you will probably have your own personal requirements or needs that you will need. For example, things like makeup. These are things that you don't easily find abroad, especially for a person of color, you know. You'll probably go to a makeup store. I've gone to like different kind of stores, and it has not even been easy me finding foundation that matches my skin tone, you know. Most of the times I've gotten different shades that are not of my color. I remember even there was a time I went for a photo shoot, and then when it reached the makeup session, this lady got a foundation that did not match my skin tone, and oh my god, you cannot imagine or believe how I turned out at the end of the day. Like, I didn't even want to do the whole shoot because I was literally looking like a ghost, you know. The foundation was not matching my skin. So you find that it's not easy getting these things, even where to do your hair, you know. Even for the boys as well, you need to cut off your hair. You cannot just go to any salon anyhow, because these people are not used to our type of hair. Our kind of hair is very different from theirs, so they will not know how to go about cutting your own hair or even plaiting it. So yeah, these are some of the things that you need to keep aware and yeah, know them. Okay, and then I'll go to the 9th point. I will say that my 9th point is going to be about losing touch with your loved ones back home. What do I mean by this? For example, back home, of course, I have like lots of friends, and I have also, of course, my family. We are very much close to each other. But then when I came abroad, or when I moved abroad, I thought that it was going to continue, you know. I thought that we were going to be talking on a daily basis. I thought I was going to be probably on the phone hours and hours, spending lots of hours just talking to my friends and my family from back home. But I got to realize that as time went on, that was actually the communication between us was becoming much more lower, you know. And in the beginning, yeah, it was high, because of course people want to know, okay, how are you, how are things, have you settled in the place, how is it, how is everything, how are the people treating you there, and all that, you know. And then once that exciting period is done, now you finally get to settle in the place. You're finally like getting acquainted to the area. You finally get to know where to go, what to do, you know, and all these things, and you can easily help yourself without anyone being there. That is when the communication begins to lower down. So anyway, I don't know about others. This is just my own personal experience. But yeah, like, to be honest, we don't talk that much with my family like I was talking to them in the beginning. Even with my friends as well, like, we take a long time before we actually can catch up again. And of course, I cannot blame them, because I mean, they also have a life, you know, and I also have to find my own life. So that's just one of the challenges that comes up with it. So it's not really easy, but of course, as time goes on, like I said, you get used to it and it becomes part of the norm. Yeah. And I'll go to the last point, which is my number 10th point. So with this one, I will say that living abroad kind of changes your identity, you know. What do I mean by this? Well, I will say, in my own personal experience, especially like whenever I get to go back home, I find that I kind of don't rhyme with the place, if that makes sense, you know. I kind of feel like a stranger, kind of, because now, like, I've been so used to staying a lot abroad, so like I kind of got used to that environment. I kind of got used to how things are being done in that place. So going back home kind of makes me feel more like a guest, more like a visitor. So meaning that I have to again go back through that whole process of, you know, getting used to the place from scratch, you know. Yeah, so it's it's crazy. But yeah, so anyway guys, this brings me to the end of my video. These are my top 10 tips with getting acquainted to living abroad, and I hope you guys like this video. Let's keep the conversation rolling in the description or in the comment section below. Please let me know what are your thoughts, like what are some of the things that you had to go through when moving abroad or while living abroad. What are some of those things? What are some of the challenges, or what are some of the tips that helped you overcome whatever problems or, you know, challenges that you may have faced while moving or living abroad? So yeah, this is the end of the video guys. Thank you so much, and please do remember to subscribe, like and comment. And yeah, don't also forget to check out my other videos which will be here. And thank you so much. Bye bye.
All the stuff that you've been worrying about. Never mind all the people trying to bring you down. Oh, never mind